group play finished yesterday with Peru and Colombia playing out a 0-0, with Colombia trying to snatch a winner, Peru parking more or less the bus. And then afterwards, Brazil edged out the 2-1 victory over Venezuela, where it has to be said, if Venezuela would have gotten the equalizer, they would have qualified and Colombia would have been out. So it was actually kind of a tight finish, despite Brazil being up by 2 goals. All in all, I have to say what happened, transpired yesterday, made me actually quite furious in a way, or kind of makes me scratch my head, and I'll comment on that in a bit. But first of all, I also want to say, while I'm a little bit angry about that, I'm also very happy because I managed to get all the jerseys covered now. It means there were only a few left from the World Cup: Chile, Uruguay, and Brazil. But all the others have been covered, and you have video posts on those jerseys. The only one missing is the Jamaica away jersey, where I don't have a nice picture yet. But it's pretty much the same jersey as the home jersey, just in green instead of yellow. Let's see what the results yesterday meant for the entire tournament. It means, I already said it, that Brazil wins the group ahead of Peru with the goal difference, and then Colombia with inferior goal difference of just 1-1, while Peru has a 2-2 goal difference, and Venezuela finishes last. So basically, my expected standings kind of were flipped because Peru and Colombia switched places. Other than that, the real standings, it didn't change much, just Brazil won the darn group. Now, the implications of that is Colombia sitting in 3rd place and is scheduled to play Argentina, whereas Peru gets the nice bonus for parking the bus by playing neighbors Bolivia. So if you look at this playoff tree now, it's kind of a little bit unbalanced. We have the 3 strongest teams all sitting in the lower bracket, with Argentina having to play Colombia, and then Brazil to get into the final, which is still the most likely route if I always let the favorite win. On the other hand, Brazil got with Paraguay a kind of decent quarterfinal matchup, but then Paraguay eliminated them exactly at the quarterfinal stage 4 years ago, so it might not be that easy, and for some reasons that I will go into in a second, I hope that Paraguay will park the bus and give Brazil a good run for the money, if not beat them. And I have to say, I do like Brazil. Just I will mention it a little bit later. In the upper bracket, Uruguay and Chile playing each other, so we have 2 relatively strong teams here sitting in 3rd place, and Chile is definitely not happy playing Uruguay. On the other hand, the reward is big because Bolivia and Peru are definitely the 2 weakest teams in the quarterfinal, and they play each other. I have to say, politically, Bolivia and Peru are also kind of not liking each other. I always got the feeling that the only nation in South America that Peruvians like is Argentina, because with all the other nations they have some type of problems. And they also look a little bit down on Bolivia, so that might be interesting to see how it's working. The one thing that those 2 nations have in common is they absolutely hate Chile because of what happened in the 1800s with the war of Bolivia and Peru against Chile, where Chile just annihilated them, made Bolivia into a landlocked country, and took a lot of Peruvian territory, and there's still some problems yet to be sorted out. So we have a Chile-Peru semifinal projected and an Argentina-Brazil clash projected, which might be the game of the tournament in a way. Whenever Argentina and Brazil meet, that's a big news. With Argentina and Chile playing in the final, Peru playing Brazil in the 3rd place playoff. Now, that's how the projected playoff tree, the most likely playoff tree, looks like. However, Argentina is not number 1 anymore because they have a pretty tough road. We have Colombia, Brazil, we have Chile, and Chile is the easiest opponent. So suddenly, Argentina is here in 2nd place and Brazil is a top favorite. Also, Chile and Colombia switched places, and Peru went all the way to 6th spot as they are now favored in the quarterfinal matchup. Four teams being eliminated. I rank Venezuela ahead of Ecuador, although Ecuador finished third in their group. But Venezuela has equal amount of points, but a better goal differential. Now, why does this make me furious? First of all, the way the group stage was set up, the games were not played at the same time. I highly doubt that we would have seen the same results if that had happened. Brazil knew they had to win to be safe. Venezuela had to have a draw, and Peru and Colombia were kind of, they didn't know what to do. But on the other side, if I look at the situation, Colombia needed to score goals. Peru, yes, had to kind of park the bus, but if I was a little bit more cynical, trade 4 goals in the first 10-20 minutes, let's say maybe even first half, and let it play out in the second half, then at least you got a better chance of qualifying. I mean, Colombia was only 1 goal away from missing out on qualification if Venezuela would have equalized. The other thing that makes me furious, it's no a secret, I like Argentina. At this moment at least, and I don't like that Brazil got again the kind of easy way out. Brazilian soccer, I really like Brazilian soccer. Don't get me wrong, they have great players. They used to have great players. I should say the current generation is awful. I have to put it like that. There is next to Neymar, there is no one. There is no star except for Thiago Silva and for David Luiz, which are defenders. This is so un-Brazilian. I also think that they didn't make the right conclusions after the debacle at the home World Cup. Yes, they were not a very solid squad there. Yes, they played a lot with emotion, but yes, Dunga is maybe one who has a more sober approach to things. But hiring Dunga is kind of going back to your old girlfriend. It doesn't make any sense. There is no revolution there. Brazilian soccer is stuck. And the only way that it gets unstuck, and I was actually slightly hoping for the sake of Brazil, as stupid as it sounds, that actually Venezuela beats Brazil and Brazil is eliminated. Because it just needs, the results need to show. But Brazilian soccer is so steeped in corruption and bad setups with all their state championships and how the youth is coming out and so on. It cannot be that there is, next to Neymar, there's no real star. Look at Argentina, they're producing great players all along. They're much more balanced squad, although they're a little bit attack heavy, whereas Brazil is a little bit defense heavy. And that's an irony. The two have completely switched places in a way. Argentina was always a little bit more on the defense, although they were great offensive-minded Argentinians. And I also find it kind of unfair. Yes, Argentina did not play that great. They edged out a super victory against Uruguay. They should not have drawn with Paraguay, and I think the 1-0 over Jamaica was a little bit underwhelming. But that's look at the last World Cup. That's exactly how Argentina gets rolling. Slow start. They get better. But I don't think they deserve playing Colombia, and also for the sake of having a fair tournament, I would have loved Colombia being here in the Peru spot. And again, nothing against Peru, they've well deserved that. Peru is also my favorite team, so I'm a little bit rejoicing. But if I look at it from a neutral point of view, wanting to have everything kind of shaped up nicely, this here is horrible, and I think it punishes the wrong team. Brazil needs a redo, really needs to have a redo. So maybe Paraguay parks the bus, kicks out Brazil, but I don't think that will make too much difference. But we shall see. Anyway, I think it will be an exciting round of play. I actually like that we have all South American teams, so we have the Copa America will again go to an American team. Also no, this doesn't disadvantage any Mexico or Jamaica, but they have their own tournament. And I also think, and we'll see about that, it's another polemic that I have, maybe CONCACAF and CONMEBOL should unite and will really, next year's Copa America, the Centenary Edition with the teams from North America, that makes a whole lot of sense. Maybe get a great tournament going with teams from North America and South America, make a new Copa America, get rid of the Gold Cup. You would have a real screamer there that would rival the European Championship for sure. All remains to be seen. It's a lot of soccer politics. There's not much else there, but I hope you'll enjoy how the Copa America will pan out. I still think it will be very exciting. All the games look to be promising. Especially this one is maybe the one that falls off, but all the others are relatively evenly matched, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Sorry for being a little bit angry, but it got the better of me. Last thing I want to do is I always said my model doesn't allow for the ratings to be adjusted. I actually know that the ELO rating gets adjusted with every match. So I'm planning to, at least ahead of the quarterfinal stage, to get the new ELO rating to slightly adjust the strengths of all the teams and maybe change those. This will change the probabilities down here and up here slightly. So I will have a post tomorrow, although there's no game being played, but we have some slight adjustments which might actually also make it interesting and a little bit more realistic. Well, up until then, enjoy the break from the games. Hopefully you'll watch my video tomorrow, and until then, bye bye.